I gotta tell you, had I thought a month ago that things would go the way they have in April, I'd have been thinking a whole lot different. Anyway, hey, welcome back. Welcome to May. May, wow, this year, beekeeping-wise, is flying. And I'm pretty excited about it. And things are going fair to midland, I guess is the best way to put it. Before I go any further, I need to clarify something. Two things that are important. Number one, it is April. It was April. Well, it kind of still is April, but anyway, you got to film these things in advance, don't you? Anyway, so it's May 2026, so you might be watching this in another year or two, or who knows. So just so you have the context of the year that we're in. And number two, I am located just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, about 20 miles out. Everything I'm talking about really is regional because beekeeping is regional. What happens here in the South and the North and the Yukon and UK, I mean, it all works a little bit different, but we all kind of go through the regular year sort of the same way. So for me, temper that maybe by a few weeks forward, few weeks back, temperature, you know, all that. But these are all tasks that we have to do sooner or later. So I'm just gonna talk through those as we go. I wanna go back and I've done this about every month and a little bit of a review. April did not turn out like I planned. I had spent a lot of time before this talking about how I was going to prevent swarming. I was going to Demaree all my hives, and I kind of talked about how I was going to do that. And I went out and did that, and it was an epic failure on my part, and I'm just going to admit it. I've done Demaree before with really good success, but on a bee yard with, I think I had 4 at the time, and it worked great. I didn't have 20 hives I was working on trying to make that happen. I soon realized that if I was off a day, I had queen cells everywhere. If I was too early, I didn't see a queen cell. And then I'd go back and I guess I was a day early because then there was queen cells. And then I couldn't keep up with it because then once you, it's like, and you're switching, it didn't work. Is the bottom line to it. It didn't work. I'm going to go back to the old method of splitting. But hey, I've got some great shots here of swarms, some really cool swarms I got. And now I have resources. And I use nucs like support staff. And now I'm really going to use nucs like support staff this year. And we're going to talk about quite a bit about that when we're going into the calendar. The Demarees worked on the ones I kept up on. The Demarees did not work on the ones that swarmed on me. So now I'm working with those that swarmed. And the nuc boxes provide that opportunity for me. Let's get into real quick talking about what I'm going to do in the month of May. May is just a keep up with it month. If you want great strong hives, you have to be able to keep working with them as hard as you possibly can. So first week of March, it's been that kind of a spring. First week of May, I'm still monitoring for swarm cells. I'm picking up deeps, looking underneath, and trying to determine if I've got swarm cells going on. Once you get a swarm cell, they've pretty much determined that they're going to swarm. But then again, I know the hives that have not swarmed, so I'm paying close attention to those. So I will be monitoring for swarm cells. I'm going to do my first mite check of the year. Maybe there's a beauty of those that swarmed. Those hives that swarm also have a brood break in them. So that's a great way to knock down any mite counts that you might have. A brood break basically means the mites have no place to lay their eggs. So we're doing mite checks. I'm also going to do nuc support, and this is probably a good opportunity to talk about how I use nuc support. I'm using these swarms I've caught as support staff, and what that means is immediately once you put bees into that nuc box, and I put clean drawn comb in, so the bees have very little cleanup they have to do. The queen can start laying right away. What that means is that within 3 or 4 days of them being in that nuc box, she's laying eggs, which means that in somewhere around 16 to 18 days, if I've got that right, but anyway, ultimately I'm going to end up with whole frames full of capped brood. So I use that capped brood to go back into the hives that swarmed. I put that capped brood in, and it helps fill that gap. 21 days after a hive swarms is about when you can start to expect to see some eggs in the hive. And then those eggs take 21 days to hatch. There's already brood from egg to hatch. So then at 21 days, you kind of got an issue because the queen is now just starting to lay eggs. All the brood from the last queen is gone. So now you've got a big hunk of time where your population just dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. So to prevent that from being an issue, I'm putting more brood in that are going to hatch within the next 2 or 3 days. So I'm getting 3,000 or 4,000 more bees into that hive to help maintain it. And then I can come back a week later and take support staff brood out. So I can just keep up with keeping the hives that swarmed still healthy, happy, and moving along, and don't have that huge drop in population that basically can kill a hive. Long explanation, but that's the importance of the support staff system for me. And I'm going to do another video specifically on that. If you've got quite a few hives, I've really found this to be a great opportunity to not take away from your productive hives and just use those other hives. And at the end of this year, if they're healthy enough, put them together. If they're not, put the bees with others, and you're done with them. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, moving on. So I will be doing Nook support again next week. I'm also going to extract. So we're in the beginning of the last week of April right now. I'm going to be extracting Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I've got enough boxes that are completely full. I know, we're like mid-April. And I'm about 3 weeks early in having capped frames that are ready to be extracted. Or capped frames, capped, I mean, supers, they're whole supers, filled, brimming. I'm so excited. But I need the honey for our first market, which is the Vine Street Market on the 9th of May. It is one of our biggest markets of the year. I normally sell somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 pounds of honey there. So I need 100 pounds of honey. Well, 5 supers is gonna give me 100 pounds. It's gonna give me 150. So I'm going to be doing that, and I also have to prep for the market. That's this coming up week. It's a busy one. I can't believe we're extracting already, but we're extracting. The next week, week 2, almost a repeat of the week before. We're going to be doing Nook support. I'm going to be checking supers because right now I think I added it up. I've got 60 honey supers out on hives right now. 50, 60. Does it matter? It's just a lot. But I need to be checking supers that were drawn. I went through every single super on Sunday. Yesterday. Oh man, where's this time going? Anyway, I went through every single super and really pleased that on every hive, every super is drawn out. I do -1 configuration, so they're 9 frames, and then they're really thick, but they're not all capped. 5 are. 5 of them are really close. Those are coming out next week on the week of what is that, 10th, 11th, somewhere in that neighborhood. That week is our Vine Street Market's Strawberry Fest. I said I'd go through 100 pounds of honey on the first market. Katie barred the door. For whatever reason, I will sell probably 150, 175 pounds of honey at the Strawberry Fest. It's insane. It's always our biggest market of the year. And it's like right at the beginning of the year. So for a lot of vendors, that's well and good. It's like for us honey people, it's like, whoa, we're really pushing to have that much honey unless we had it left over from the year before. I will have plenty of honey for the Strawberry Fest. I've got a big market prep that week as well. Third week, we're doing queen checks. I need to go in and make sure that there are queens in every one of those hives that swarmed. I'm looking for eggs. It should, at that point in time, and most everything that I have, their support staff that kind of showed you those quick little videos, all of those swarmed either late last week or Saturday, Sunday. So I had 4 swarms in the last 3 days. You go up from there, and that's where my 21 days starts, is right there on the 17th of May. I'm gonna go in, I need to look for eggs, I need to look for just the queen at that point, and if I don't see the queen, then I need to be looking for eggs, larvae, all those signs that there is an active queen in there. If there's not at that point in time, I'm quickly going to order queens, and I've got a real good source of queens that I order when I need them, and they can get them to me within a couple days. So I should still be fine with that hive. You know, you don't want to leave them too long, or you start getting laying workers, and at that point, I take a laying worker hive, put it in the back of Sparky the truck, and drive it out to a field somewhere and shake them, because they're going to be mean, they're going to be ugly, and they will never accept a new queen. Also, Nook support, we're going to keep doing the Nook support that week because I'm still working with building those up. That queen, if she's laying, she's still doing her first or second week of laying, and I need a lot of bees because we're really getting into the crux of the honey flow in this area. And I've talked about it before. We're about 2 to 3 weeks ahead. It's just been an amazing spring. I've never seen a black locust flow like this black locust flow. It started early and it's like kind of right at its tail end right now. So kind of the beauty, or not the beauty of it, is I had those hives swarm, but I didn't lose a lot of production from the black locust because I had full forces in all the hives through a majority of the black locust. That's an anomaly because normally if you're going to have swarms in this area, you have swarms and then the black locust comes out and you're basically going to miss out on half the black locust. And it's a huge thing in this area. Okay, so I was lucky about that. I've also got another Vine Street market on the 23rd, a little bit lighter market, so I won't need as much honey, much work for it, but it's there. I got to remember it's there. 4th week of May, things start to hopefully settle in, and I'm just managing hives at that point. I'm still going to be doing some checks on the hives that were Demaree and worked and making sure that they have the resources they need to not swarm. So I will probably be putting empty frames in that and manipulating all that, but I don't have to do as much swarm control when I get that late in the year. I'm still going to be doing nuc supports. I'm going to be checking supers. The supers that were put on, I actually put on supers a week ago, and again, those are starting to be built out. It will go a little bit slower for a lot of those, because those hives that swarmed don't have the number of foragers to go out and bring stuff in, so that'll be a little bit slower, but about the last week of May, they're gonna be going kaboom again. And another reason I need to be taking supers off and extracting is I need to put them back on. I never imagined I would be out of supers at this time of year, because I mean, I've got a shed completely full with supers, and I think I had 22 tubs of 24 frames each. I don't know, do the math, whatever, that are drawn. And in the past, I've been able to take that drawn comb and keep up with it during the flow, that I'm not putting new frames in they have to draw wax on. So it's instant honey, but it's this year's an anomaly. Every resource I have is out, so I need to be taking those supers off, extracting, and immediately they go back onto the hive. And that takes us through the month. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mention. Also, the last week of May, I will also have done a couple of mite checks. And I'm also realizing that the queen is going to be starting to lay. So I want to do and get my Viroxan on just as that queen is starting to lay, so that I can keep my numbers low. I had great success with Viroxan last year. I really liked it. It kept my mite counts for the first two, or for May and June, or June and July, really, really low. And I'm able to put more on if I need it. More on. No, I'm not a moron. No, I get to, anyway, I get to put more on. You shouldn't run those two words together, should you, Dave? So you could put more Viroxan strips on, and if you want to, if you need to, and then I start getting into that August time frame, and supers are off, and I'm into my next set of mite treatments. You could watch my mite treatment videos. I've got several, but this one talks about Viroxan, another one talks about effective controls and basically how I use my mite controls. Okay, so that's the month of May. It's going to be just keep up with it, keep up with it, keep up with it, keep up with it. That means storms are coming in. So we are under storm warnings at this point. Not storm warnings, I'm gonna say emergency alert. It says there's a tornado warning. I might wanna go check that. So we're gonna sign off at this point, because the emergency alert says there might be a tornado in the area. you know, tune in to Dave. You never know what's going to happen. So, as always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Please hit that like button because I think I'm going to need all the like I can get. I don't know what's going on here. As always, happy beekeeping. We will see you next time. I hope. Auntie M, Auntie M, Auntie M, where are you?